biggest reason why I started the distillery is I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to follow a passion. This is an itch or a passion that I had to scratch and I had to do. And I kind of needed to put my big boy pants on and chase it. I'm Damien. We're at Tiny Bear Distillery, and this is our distillery. We produce gin, we produce whiskey, we produce vodka, we produce liqueurs. Middle of 2018, me and my wife sold our house. I kind of said, well, do we really need the house? Is a house better than happiness? And I suppose we followed that, which is a bit ballsy and romantic at the same time to do it that way. Instead, we bought a warehouse where we wanted to be, and said, let's build our lives around this concrete building. Let's put everything into it. We've got 5 years to give it a shake, but we were able to turn it into something that now is work, but it's also not work.
I guess one thing that I think that's really cool about this place, and that Damo kind of brought to the table when he first opened the place up, is that a lot of kind of mad scientist fun stuff goes into it. So that really appealed to me when I started here. It's always experimenting, always talking about new ways, how can we improve things. So my name's Sally. I'm working here at Tiny Bear Distillery as the distillery manager. I've been here for about 2 years now. My background is in chemistry, so I have a chemistry degree, and hospitality. So it kind of made sense to combine those two things and come together and make some gin. Gin is basically any sort of kind of neutral spirit that's been flavoured with juniper in some way. Kind of depending on where you are, which country you're in, there might be different restrictions on how much juniper you're putting in and things like that. But here in Australia, it's quite basic. It's basically just says you have to have juniper in it in some way. One thing that we do like to do here is that we do make our own base spirit. That's something that not a lot of Australian distilleries or gin distilleries will go that extra step. We like to do that because it means that we have a lot more control over our ferment. So we think that we end up with a really nice, smooth base spirit at the end of the day.
We distill that ferment into vodka. We then distill that vodka into gin through the process of introduction of botanicals and distillation a second time round. Then once it's been distilled a second time round, you've got to let it sit for a while. You've got to dilute it to get it to the bottling strength of what you want someone to enjoy it at. And then you've got to bottle it, then you've got to label it, then you've got to ship it or drink it is the other way to do it.
It's a very easy process, thinking about what a new gin is and how that happens here. It's kind of something that happens very casually, say at the break room lunch table, you know, someone will go, oh, have you heard about this botanical? That might be cool, let's use that. The wonderful thing about this place is that we don't then just go, that's a cool pipe dream. We go, actually, let's experiment on that. Let's look at that. Let's do some trials. Let's see if we can make it work. We literally have a whole library upstairs in our storeroom of experiments, good, bad, otherwise. And so I think that helps us to be really innovative in terms of our products and coming up with really cool stuff.
If you go back 10 years, the number of distilleries in Victoria would be less than 10. There's now somewhere between 70 and 80. Do I think it's going to continue to change? Yeah. I don't think it's gin that's going to continue to develop now. I think the next jump is in spirits outside of gin. Gin was a front runner showing us how to do it. In my opinion, you're going to get vodkas that are going to be weird and wacky in various different flavours. You're going to get spirits like rum and amaros and aperitifs and a lot of that being made in-house in Australia, which haven't been done for I don't think ever. And I'd like to think that we're somewhat playing a part in that.
I think that what we're seeing in the market recently with customers is that they are looking to try new things all the time. And so I think that's a big part of it that can be, really helpful in having different exciting products all the time, is that that's what people want at the moment. They want to try new things.
You know, and it shows in the customers as well. They come in and they tell you, oh, I went to this place and they had this and this was delicious and that reminded me of this place and they said I should go check out this place. And where should I go next? It's almost like a pilgrimage for Australian consumers to be like, wicked, I've had Tiny Bear, I'm going to go try this one next and whatnot. And then they'll come back to you when you do something interesting or creative. I think Australian craft producers do really support each other. And what I mean by that is, I think we all are on the same page of we're not competing with each other. For example, we've worked with 15 other producers in the spirits, beer or wine industry in collaborations, whether it be sharing botanicals, whether it be co-releasing products, whether it be someone saying, I'm out of bottles, does anyone have any of this? Can they spot me? And I'll spot you back in a month. And I think we all have the same struggles, which unites us. We're all got the same issues. Labour is the same cost. We all have the same troubles getting in glassware. We all have the same issues trying to find fresh juniper. We care about each other. If one of us goes under, it hurts. It's an industry that is changing, but I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome to be a part of, a very small part of, but it's changing and it's fun. And I think small producers like us in both the wine and the beer and other spirits producers are challenging what boundaries are.